I know that in this room, and among those listening remotely, there are souls exhausted from trying to be strong. There are cries that cannot be uttered. There are why questions whose answers seem to be the silence of heaven. I understand that the weight of unspoken grief can be crushing, turning our inner world into a cacophony of fear and doubt. But I want us to discover a liberating truth together. God doesn't demand a cheerful song from us when our hearts are broken. He gives us a hymn book, and within it are even the notes of lament. We won't shy away from difficult emotions. Instead, we'll learn to turn our very sighs into a prayer, a genuine melody before God. This journey isn't about quick fixes, but about finding a voice for our souls. As we begin to voice our deepest emotions, let's allow our hearts to overflow with a different kind of sound, a melody of divine beauty. Psalm 45:1 opens with, "My heart is stirred by a noble theme as I recite my verses for the King. My tongue is the pen of a skillful writer." This is an invitation to shift our focus from our struggles to the majesty of God, who is the ultimate King. Think of a court musician, so moved by the King's splendor that his very being overflows with inspiration. This psalm, though initially a wedding song for an earthly king, points to the ultimate King, Jesus, whose beauty and glory transcend all earthly understanding. This week, try to spend a few moments meditating on God's attributes, His love, His power, His holiness, and let your heart be stirred by His nobility. Now, as our melody rises, it celebrates the King's inherent majesty and righteous rule. Psalm 45, 3-6 declares, "Gird your sword on your side. You mighty one, clothe yourself with splendor and majesty. In your majesty ride forth victoriously, in the cause of truth, humility, and righteousness. Let your right hand achieve awesome deeds. Your arrows are sharp in the heart of the King's enemies. The peoples fall under you. Your throne, O God, will last forever and ever. A scepter of justice will be the scepter of your kingdom." This is a powerful, authoritative harmony, establishing God's eternal dominion. Consider Jesus, the King of Kings, who through his humble life and ultimate sacrifice achieved the greatest victory over sin and death, establishing a kingdom of righteousness that will never end. When you witness injustice or feel overwhelmed by evil, remember that our King reigns with absolute justice and power. This week, consciously surrender one area of your life where you're trying to control things to the King's righteous rule, trusting His perfect will. Our symphony now swells with vibrant notes of joy and belonging, depicting the King's people in glorious procession. Psalm 45:9-11 Pascals ints this picture. "Daughters of kings are among your honored women. At your right hand is the royal bride in gold of Ophir." Listen, daughter, and pay careful attention. Forget your people and your father's house. Let the King be enthralled by your beauty. Honor him, for he is your Lord. This passage speaks of a spiritual beauty that comes from honoring the King and being devoted to him. Think of the church, described as the bride of Christ, adorned not just with outward beauty, but with a heart devoted to him. Our true adornment comes from our relationship with him. When you feel inadequate or unseen, remember that, in God's eyes, you are beautiful when you honor him. This week, choose one way to honor God through an act of obedience or worship, allowing it to be your spiritual adornment. We have journeyed together from the heart stirred by the King's beauty through his majestic and eternal reign, and into the joyful procession of those who honor him From the initial focus on our pain to the glorious declaration of everlasting praise, our souls have found their rhythm in the profound truth of Psalm 45. Now, let us collectively declare this truth. Though the melody of my life may be whatever it may be, I still believe you are the conductor. Though I cannot see the light, I still believe you are my song. The Lord is my strength and my psalm. Come, my dear listener, come to the Lord, and let Him reharmonize your soul, filling it with His deep and abiding peace. For Psalm 45:17 concludes this majestic psalm with an eternal promise: I will perpetuate your memory through all generations. Therefore the nations will praise you forever and ever. May the God of all comfort fill your heart with His presence, empower you with His strength, and renew within you a song of hope that echoes through every season of your life and through all generations. Amen.